So hey everyone, welcome back to the channel that is the gift that keeps on giving due to Harry and Meghan. So in today's video we're going to be breaking down why Meghan has gone on the attack with, is it Michelle Hussein? I'll put her name up here, the lady that interviewed them on their engagement. So we're going to be talking about that. Plus, is Harry going to create Birmingham to go broke? There has been uproar. Do we have a pending petition that is going to happen in regards to Ingriftus? Because that's what I'm going to call it, because it feels that is what it is now about. So I'm going to be talking about this and anything else that comes to mind as we go along. So if this is the kind of video that you'd be interested in, where myself, a qualified psychotherapist, I break down the things that I see in regards to their behaviour. Sometimes it's the things that they say, but it's also the things that they don't say. So if you are interested in this type of thing, in understanding the psychology behind these two, then this could be the channel for you. So don't forget to like the video and subscribe if you do not want to miss future uploads. So that being said, let's dive right in. So hey everyone, welcome to this channel. We are going to do the grab your drink of choice, which is something that you can skip if you so choose to, but this is the part where I include all of you. So for those of you who've been sending in your grab your drink of choice videos, thank you so much. I love watching them all. And for those of you who are new and you don't really know what this is, it is where this is something I've been doing from the very beginning. I would say it, but now I'm asking all of you to send me in a video where you sit back, relax, grab your drink of choice, and you show on camera what you might be drinking. And you can include your fur babies in this, your family, whatever it is. Be as creative as you like. And then you add, if you would like to add a little something, because it's 5 o'clock somewhere. And so that being said, here is the latest one.
It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon here, and I thought I'd come out for a walk and a drink, but the bar's closed, so not working out too well at the moment. Still, I'm sure if I put my watch forward 3 hours, I'll find somewhere to have a drink. So grab your drink of choice and let's go.
So Meghan has gone on the attack again, and for those of you who do not know about narcissism, this is a very classic behavioral move in regards to blaming someone if something doesn't go right. And I'm actually surprised that she hasn't done this before now, but I'm wondering if, because we know that she scours the mainstream media, we know that she scours social media, and I think that a lot of people, when talking about Meghan's behaviour, when they first spotted the difference, spotted something that kind of made their little radar go off, it was the engagement video. And so I do wonder if she has been scouring social media and she's come across probably multiple posts where people have said, well, you know, I didn't kind of really think about it until I saw that engagement video, and then I was like, something's not right here. And that was what it was for me. I'm not, you know, being completely transparent. I didn't really think too much about her before that. I did know of her because I had watched Suits by that point, or I was in the middle of watching Suits, don't really remember, but I do remember that I knew of her. Now, she wasn't somebody that struck me as a great actress, but then I didn't think she was that awful either. It was kind of like she was just somebody that was there, you know, one of the actors. I mainly watched it for the others. So when she got with Harry, it was kind of like, oh, that's the girl from Suits. Okay, yeah, cool. But when I watched the engagement interview, and for those of you who haven't seen it, I'm pretty sure most people have seen it by now, but if you haven't seen my breakdown on that, I will put this up here, but it also, if you go to the end of this video, you can click on the square and it will take you straight to that particular video. So I did start to notice things, and that was when my interest was flagged completely. So I started to kind of think there's something more to this woman. I didn't think Harry was blameless. There were definitely moments where I felt Harry was being dishonest. There was something definitely not right within that engagement interview. So I do feel that it's interesting that it's come out now. She watched my video with HG Tudor. I doubt it very much, but you know what, she might have done, and then she might have been like, wait, hang on a minute. That's what they're saying. Oh, you'll have to excuse me if there's quite a bit of editing in this bit, because I'm actually having a hot flush as I'm talking. So she believes that it was staged, like it was purposely set up to create her to look bad. And what's really great is the lady has come back. She has actually defended herself and said absolutely not. I think the BBC have actually defended themselves and said absolutely not. You know, this was, you know, everything seemed fine. You know, they didn't seem like there was a problem. They had no idea that what was going to happen was going to happen. So how, you know, what was the point of setting it all up? That doesn't make any sense. But of course, what is this familiar to? Diana. Now, we know that Meghan has this weird obsession with Diana, and we also know that Harry has a weird obsession with Diana. And what I think is playing out here is, I have said before, in fact, I have been saying for maybe the best part of 2 years, if you go back over my videos, well, I know there's a lot, but if you do, you will see that I have been saying for a very long time that I do not believe they are romantically together. I have been saying for a very long time that I do not believe they are living in that mansion, and I think they are leading separate lives, but they're just getting together. It's like a business arrangement. And I've been saying this for as long as I've been saying that they don't have children living with them. And if you look at the behavior of Harry, so I'm just taking the glasses off because I'm getting steamy windows. If you haven't seen my video in regards to the Pat Tillman Award, if you look at Harry's behavior, he looks miserable. Now, let's be honest, he looks miserable most of the time now, but he really does. It looks to me that they've had words. Meghan is doing her usual, having this permanent grin frozen to her face, but Harry looks red-faced. He looks anxious. Now, okay, it could also be that he is worried about getting up on stage. He is worried about being booed. That's very plausible. But to be honest, if this was just about that, Harry being quite an insecure person, he would necessarily be leaning on Meghan. You'd see him going to her for support, because there is definitely what I've said is like almost like where he's had an Oedipus complex with Diana, his mother. And I think that he transfers that to Meghan at times. But he doesn't do that. So that is what I think would be playing out if most of this or all of this was about his anxiety about getting up on stage because he was worried about being booed. I mean, I do think there is an element of that. But if things were fine with him and Meghan, he would be leaning on her. He'd be looking to her for support. He might have even brought her up on stage, but he's certainly sitting next to her. He'd be holding her hand. He'd be more affectionate, because he would be wanting that from her in that moment. That's not because they're a loved up couple. It's just that he would need that from her, because he's, like I say, he's quite a needy person, an insecure person, but he isn't. The other interesting fact as well is that Meghan was sitting on the end. Now, again, this also shows to me that perhaps her and Serena are not very good friends, and they certainly are not good friends with, or she's certainly not good friends with Serena's family, because if that was the case, women tend to gravitate towards each other. She wasn't. She was sitting on the end, and Harry was the buffer in between. So if you look at Harry's behaviour, he looks very tense, very red-faced at times, very anxious, almost angry, irritated. There were definitely micro expressions of anger, flickers where he was like that. And the biggest one being when he went to go up on stage and she goes from just holding his hand to sort of grappling him with the other hand as well. And he releases her. There's no affection, no nothing. So I think that they've potentially had words, or they just are not getting along at the moment. Now, in true narcissistic fashion, what will happen is, if a narcissist feels the element of control is diminishing, because everything has to come from them, they have to be in control at all times. So it is down to them to discard, down to them to devalue. It is always down to them. When they make the decision to walk away, we've seen that happen when she's done that to her partners, her ex-husband, her father, her friends, the royal family even. You know, we've seen that when she discards, or when she devalues. And I've said for a while that I think that if Meghan had reached success in anything that she is attempting to throw mud at, she would have divorced him. If she'd have got a really good lucrative deal, if she'd have met somebody, she would have divorced him by now. She hasn't. So this is why she's clinging on to him. But he is constantly in and out of devalue stage. What will happen here is, after this particular incident, I would imagine, she's going to start to realise that Harry is probably getting to a point where he's had enough. And she would be panicking. She's not ready to let go yet. Now, there's also been rumours, and I will say they're rumours because I haven't found any credible evidence. However, this would track, is that Harry has been seen with a blonde woman. Nobody knows who she is, but he's been seen with somebody. Now, again, don't know if this is true. However, if that he's miserable, he would, and given the sort of personality Harry is, he would potentially be seeking solace somewhere else with somebody else. This would bother Meghan immensely, because at this point, she's not quite ready to give him up yet. She still needs him. So all of a sudden, out of the blue, we get Meghan going after the interviewer, the lady, and saying that the BBC set this up, it was staged in a way to create her to look bad. Who, like I say, who is that mirroring? Of course, Diana. We all know, and we have heard, that Diana was set up with her interview with the BBC and the backlash that come from that. She is going to know that Harry is going to have a massive issue with that in her mind. So to put this out, this is now a reference back to his mother. So there is a part of him that this could trigger in her mind in bringing him back into the fold, because then it's going to be like, you know, Meghan was set up, you know, this is like Diana, and Harry is going to start to feel bad about that. Maybe not, because we don't know how far this has gone with those two now. But I think that this is what this is, because it's interesting that it is connected to the BBC. It's interesting that it's an interview, and that her wording, that this was staged, this was kind of set up to make it look the way it was. And of course, the BBC have come back and said, well, no. But as we all know, the Sewer Squad are relaying it back and saying, well, you know, they did that with Diana, so the chances are they probably have done that with Meghan. They've tried to set her up from the word go. The royal family are all in on it. And this is the way that she acts. This is her plan. It is everything to create the royal family to look bad. And when she divorces, and Harry would know this, because as much as he is not the brightest bulb in the house, he is also not completely stupid in how Meghan works by now. He's been with her long enough. He knows. And so he potentially knows that when they divorce, she is going to go for the jugular. She will. She will blame everything on him. It will be his drinking, his, this. I don't think I can say it. I don't know. Probably extramarital affairs, which is why I think he was the one that had one. And that's why, to deflect from that, we got that it was William. I think it was Harry, and it was Meghan that put out it was William to deflect, because she needs it to be seen that they're this wonderful loved up couple, and William and Catherine are not as loved up as what everyone believes they are. So I think that that was purposefully done, and I think that this is being purposefully done as well. I think that she's orchestrating and maneuvering things around on the chessboard, so when he divorces her or when she decides to let him go, it is going to all be set up that he's the bad guy, that she's the victim. And I think if anyone believes that she's not going to do that, they've never fully dealt with a narcissist, because she is going to have her claws out and she is going to go for the jugular. And it won't be just about her doing it. She will have other people doing it for her. She will have people coming out with media posts saying, she's devastated, she's sobbing, she's lost weight, she's this, and again, we've got the way she looked at the Pat Tillman Award, the weight loss, and again, akin to Diana. And so I think that this is all leading up to what is eventually going to be happening. So let me know what you think in the comments. Do you agree with me? Have you picked up on something else in regards to that statement that's been put out? Let me know, as you always do. So before we get into part 2, where I talk about the Ingrifftus, it is bubble member time. So this is the time, if you want to go and grab a drink, you can, as I do the bubble members, and I also do the shout out. So see you in a minute. So today member shout out is going to be Celeste Warren and Dublin 1008 and Zephyr K9. So well done to you guys, and thank you for joining. And don't forget to like and subscribe this video, and if you'd like to treat me to a cuppa, you can do, and all other details are in the description box below. And now back to the main video, part 2. So, Ingrifftus, as I call it, because in all fairness, I now believe it is. I feel very sad for the veterans that are involved in this, because I think that Harry is now going to be doing them a massive injustice. And so, yeah, so this is what I will now be referring to Invictus as Ingrifftus. So 26 million bid was put in from Birmingham in the United Kingdom to host Ingrifftus in 2027. And that bid was from the UK government. So the taxpayers are paying for Ingrifftus. This has been met with very, very mixed reviews, and a lot of people are furious about this. Not only because this is coming out of the taxpayers' money, budget in a sense, but it's been done, they've done something very similar before, where they hosted the 2022 Commonwealth Games, and they did the same sort of thing. And what they did was they then put up the council tax, which is something that, for those of you who don't live in the UK, this is something that all of us pay monthly, and it goes towards the local councils that we have here, the government, so to speak. And it's for certain things that should be done, even though most of them don't get done. And it got put up, and it's pretty expensive anyway. So to have it go up was pretty poor, really, especially because it wouldn't be so bad if the things that it was meant to be for got done, but they don't. Like potholes in the road, we still got them. They never seem to really get done, and if they do, within about 6 months to a year later, after a cold snap, they're back to the same again. And so here we are again, where they're doing it again. And what they've said is that they are, to cater for this, they're going to be probably putting up the council tax in Birmingham. So people have got up in arms about this. They are really not happy. So it says here, while 26 million bid for the games, 26 million was funded by the government. Locals are now worried that taxpayers are also now going to have to fund sprucing up the city. And what a lot of people are saying is, well, why couldn't you have done that anyway? Why has it got to take that it's now that they're doing it? And so they're going to go all out to spruce up the city because this is going to be hosted. And this is going to come out of the taxpayers. Like I say, they're going to need to find the money somewhere. So, of course, what the first thing they're going to do is up the council tax. Like I said, they did it before with the Commonwealth Game. Now, Birmingham recently has been clouted, in a sense, with a £760 million bill to settle equal pay claims. That's a huge amount of money. So they've already had that. They are not in a very good place financially. They've already created cuts to the council expenditure, which it means basically that the people that live in Birmingham have had to suffer cuts. So their waste is going to be cut to every 2 weeks, but things like street lights are now being dimmed to cut cost on the electricity. And I think that what concerns me, and I think probably concerns a lot of people, is safety. If street lights are there so people can obviously see where they're going, but it's not just that, it is creating safety when you're out and about at night time. If you're going to be dimming those lights or perhaps doing away with some, then that can create a problem for safety if you're out and about at night time. It's also stating that over 600 jobs are being lost around this time as well. So we also have the fact that now this amount of people, probably more than that, are going to be losing their jobs. Some people have said that they think it will be a great focus. Like some people have said the Commonwealth Games created a great focus and it brought in some tourism. But I think there is a big difference between the Commonwealth Games and Ingrifftus. I'm sorry, I genuinely do. Now, don't get me wrong. The method and the ethos behind, sort of the mission statement, if you like, behind Ingrifftus was great initially. But when you've got over 2,000 veterans walking away, and I'd probably say more and more, you've also had other people walking away from Ingrifftus. It is showing you that with Harry being the sort of the face of Ingrifftus, if you like, it's not doing him any favours. And then we have this whole thing debacle with whether Meghan is going to come or not come, etc. And it takes away from what it's meant to be, because that is what's going to be happening. That is what's going to be happening leading up to this. It's going to be, is Meghan coming? Is she not coming? And she will leave people dangling, even though, to be fair, most people probably don't care. But that is what the media is going to be printing. Because the media are just as culpable, let's be honest, in the rubbish that are to do with those two. So instead of it being about focusing on Birmingham, focusing on the tourism, focusing on the actual veterans, it is going to be, oh, is Meghan going to be coming or is she not? What is she going to be wearing? Is she going to be doing this? Is she, what about security? Because this is what's going on at the moment. Meghan's not coming because she's worried about security. Please do me a favour. Some have said, that if it brings the focus back on Birmingham, that's a good thing. But is it if it's going to be in a negative light? Some people are now saying they're concerned that Birmingham is now going to be ploughing money into this. Of course they're going to be. They're going to want Birmingham to look amazing. They're going to want to do that. And where do you think they're going to want to find the money from? We are in a cost of living crisis. People are struggling. And now, because of that, they're going to be putting people's council tax up, which is expensive anyway. And people are struggling anyway. And so not only are they cutting costs where safety is concerned, but they're also going to be putting money up and creating people to struggle more and more. And for what? For what? Now, a lot of people have also said that Harry and Meghan, there is every chance that they will not receive a warm welcome because of the way they've behaved since stepping down as working royals. And again, this is going to take away from Ingrifftus. It is going to take away from what it is meant to be for. Someone said, I'm a royalist, but I think he's burnt his bridges. I think he's clinging on to the Invictus Games now because it's the last thing he has left. It's a shame. He will rue the day he left the royal family. And then someone else said, I think it's a good idea at the end of the day. It's recognising people with disabilities. The financial question will be no doubt arise with council taxpayers. People are going to be a bit reluctant about it, which is true. They will. And yes, I believe if Harry wasn't now the face of this, I think if Meghan was nothing to do with it, I actually think it would be a lot more popular now than what it is. People are boycotting it or going against it because of Harry. And okay, you can argue the fact, like for example, the Pat Tillman Award, right? So I had no idea about the Pat Tillman Award, and I probably imagine most Brits had no idea. I appreciate obviously that a lot of Americans have. And so yes, it has put it on the map. You know, it's created this awareness. But at the same time, when you're creating awareness to something in such a negative way, how is that a good thing? How is that a good thing in someone's memory? And that is what is happening now with this, with the games, because it's now creating it to be such a negative link with Harry and now Meghan being attached to it, that people are generally boycotting because they are in a way wanting to show their outrage. You know, a lot of us who feel like for example, doing the YouTube channels, we're able to voice how we feel to a degree, unless we're censored. And a lot of people are doing that. A lot of people use social media to do that, but also a lot of people are going to do that with, you know, the Ingrifters. They are either going to boycott because in a way it's showing that this is how much I dislike what Harry's done, dislike Meghan, so we're not going to turn up. But then that hurts the veterans. It does. And Harry doesn't think about that because this is how selfish he has become. If he truly cared about the veterans, he would basically say, I need to step down. This has become a circus. This is not what this is meant to be about. It is meant to be about the veterans. So I need to step down, and you need to find someone that is far more worthy to take over. Like I said about the Pat Tillman Award, with all of the backlash, with the fact that Pat Tillman's mother spoke out against this, what he should have done was found somebody, even if he'd have gone up on stage with them, okay, fair enough, but he could have then handed them the award. He could have given the award to them. That's what royals do. They hand out the awards, they don't take the awards. Harry could have had the award, then given it to someone that was connected to Ingrifters. But he didn't. He needed to have that award and then do his ridiculously long speech, which didn't make a huge amount of sense and was definitely more lip service because, like I said, his whole leaving nobody behind. Yeah, okay, well, how many people have you left behind, Harry, to seek fame? Who have you stabbed in the back? Quite a few. So it created more outrage because of the things that he was also saying. And it's the same thing like now doing this. Step down. You're hurting Invictus because now it has become Ingrifters because of the way you are using this as the only place that you've got and Meghan to get yourself in the media. You're using it to go to places like Nigeria. Chances are they probably haven't even contacted Nigeria since that. They had their moment. They don't need them anymore. So someone else said, I like Prince Harry and I think he's a good bloke. That's open for debate. Not sure about his missus. I think he's done a good job. I'm glad we got the Invictus Games in the end. So that's, someone positive. A lot of people are referring back to the Commonwealth Games, and I think that they're of the belief that this is going to be something that's similar, and I really don't think it is. You've got to remember when they were in Germany, there was a lot of empty seats. People didn't turn up. So also what is being said is, again, is Meghan is potentially going to be missing this one because it's in the UK, and she's worried about safety. No, what she's worried about is being booed, because that is what this is. She's worried about being booed because she's gone to every other one. She's not going to come to this one. And again, this also shows you how insulting that is. I mean, not that I believe that she's particularly welcome. In all fairness, I don't. However, when you are somebody that is a member of the British royal family, whether we want her there or not, she still is connected to the British royal family. She doesn't set foot in England, but she's still happy to take those titles, utilise those titles, and have money that is connected to those titles and the royalties that are connected to those titles. But yet she's not willing to set foot in that in the United Kingdom because of safety. Yet funnily enough, we have the King and Queen here that seem to be fine, the future King and Queen here with their lovely children that walk around seeming to be fine, and every other member of the royal family. But Meghan is super special in her eyes and is worried that, you know, that she's not going to be safe. Bearing in mind that the times that she has been over here, she hasn't really been booed that much. She hasn't had tomatoes thrown at her. She even wound down her window in a blacked out vehicle so she could be seen. So we know it's not about security. We know it's because she doesn't want to be booed. And the other thing as well is if she was so worried about security, how is it that she's okay for her husband, who she's creating everyone to believe that she's so super in love with? He's such this amazing guy, but she's okay for him to risk himself coming across. If they were that worried about security, Harry could hand off Ingrifftus to somebody else and say, you know, I'm so worried about security and I don't want to, you know, bring that to, you know, Ingrifftus, and I feel like I need to stay here with my wife and my Casper children. But no, he's happy to come across. So if you're happy to come across for Ingrifftus, why are you so worried about security in every other thing that you do? That doesn't seem to be a problem. It's like, make it make sense. And the other thing as well is that when this leads up to the games, what we're also going to have, I mean, don't get me wrong, this is 2027, right? So this is 3 years away. So it's very possible by that time those two could be divorced anyway. But what will also be coming out is whether or not the royal family are going to be attending. Because, of course, this is the first time that Ingrifftus has been held in the UK since 2014. So that is what's also going to be coming out. Will the royal family be attending? And that's what I mean. All of this drama that Harry and Meghan have created is taking away from what Ingrifftus was meant to be about. And like I said, if he was any kind of decent person, if he really genuinely cared about the veterans, he would say, I'm too toxic for this. This is just, you know, this is becoming all about me and it's not meant to be. It's meant to be about the veterans. I need to step down and we need to find somebody else to take this over. But he is so selfish that he doesn't care about the veterans. And I do not understand how they cannot see that. Well, maybe some of them can. And that's why 2,000 plus have left. And why members of staff are leaving. You know, people that are high up in there are leaving. Maybe because they are starting to see what Harry and Meghan are doing to this. You know, Harry goes on in you know, talking about that he's fearful of bringing his children over here, albeit that we know the truth. Let's be honest, we do. But like I've said, it doesn't occur to people that, well, hang on a minute, we have, like I say, the future king and queen with an heir to the throne walking around fine, no problems, but yet Harry and Meghan are completely fearful of bringing their two children, when the truth is like I've said to you before, is they do not have two children living with them. They don't. And I believe that Archie is over here in the UK. So, but the fact is that when there's been these significant moments, like even when they came over here for the funeral, why didn't they bring their children over then? If they're already over here, why didn't they bring the children over? The king's coronation. All right, maybe say, and this is in the pretense of we're going to believe what we're being told by them. You're not telling me that this wouldn't have been the most amazing situation for Archie to see his grandfather and his uncle and his father at the coronation. What an amazing moment. But no, nothing. Bringing Archie to Ingrifftus to show him and humble him in regards that these amazing men and women who've lost limbs, etc., to fighting for their country. What an amazing moment to teach your child, but nothing. If you're so worried about security, then why are you risking your life when you've got children and a family, apparently? Why are you risking the veterans? Because let's be honest, if you're that worried, there is every chance that something could have happened whilst you're sitting in the crowd, or especially in what's going on today. There's been some horrendous things that have been going on lately, and so you're then putting other people at risk. Honestly, this man is so selfish. He doesn't consider that, even when he's talking about being in the actual military, it didn't occur to him that actually he's putting people at risk. He's potentially putting the people at Ingrifftus at risk because he's worried about security and some of the ridiculous things that he said in his book. That doesn't matter though. No, as long as Harry gets his column inches, as long as Meghan gets her column inches, that doesn't matter. At the moment, obviously, Harry is embroiled in this court case with security, and we all know this is for his IPP status. Let's be honest here. We all know that. But of course, he lost it, and now he's appealing, and basically they're saying that he was singled out, boo-hoo. But he's not being singled out. He left. That is like having a job and getting a company car, benefits, etc., leaving that job and still expecting, company car, accommodation, etc., leaving that job and still expecting to use the company car and still live in the accommodation. It doesn't work that way. You left as a working royal. That was your choice. And I'm not being funny. You've got enough money that you can afford to pay for your own security, which you do. So why do you now need extra security funded by the UK taxpayer when you've openly slated this country, turned your back on this country, but you still expect us to pay for you? Get a grip. Get a grip. And of course, let's deflect away from the fact that Harry has been hiding evidence, getting rid of evidence. Yep. Deflect away from that, because we can't possibly have Harry being seen as the bad guy. Oh, no, can't have that at all. It's got to be the big bad royal family, and Harry is the victim and Meghan's the victim. Anything that ever comes out where they've been proven wrong, like Meghan's court case where, oh, no, I never did that, and then it comes out that she did. Oh, well, that doesn't matter. That's okay. Doesn't matter. If it had been anyone else, it's perjury. You'd be in trouble. No, doesn't matter. Harry, withholding evidence, discarding, getting rid of evidence. Oh, it doesn't matter. It's not a big deal. And so going back to the fact that in Birmingham, there was a briefing on Monday. One of the things that is going to be cut is adult social care. That's going to be cut by 23.7 million, which means that families, young people are all going to be affected. So basically, taxpayers are going to be contributing for decades. And in Harry, who has left this country, thinks that that's okay. Harry has a lot of money, but yet he's wanting these, but let's say Birmingham to cut costs to host Invictus. Find a better way. Find a better way to create this to happen. Or donate some of your money, your 95% that you get from Merchywell. That could go towards Invictus, but oh no, we can't do that because that goes towards their hotel costs and their clothing allowances, or Meghan's, and how many handbags she's got. and how many times that she might go out to lunch and be caught with a celebrity, which has just happened recently. Now, in looking at those pictures, what I suspect is Meghan is doing what Meghan always does, and she hangs around. It's a bit like the Cameron Diaz and Gwyneth Paltrow luncheon, where it turned out that she'd just gone to the same place, and she turned up when they were turning up, so it made it look like they were all going to lunch together, and they weren't. And was it Katy Perry and Orlando Bloom are going to Lily's birthday, but actually not quite sure how Katie managed to do that, because she was actually abroad at the time, and then also spending the day with Gwyneth Paltrow. And I think it's the same thing. She's been seen walking out with this actress to make it seem as if they're lunching together. But what I know of narcissists, and what I imagine that Meghan has done, is that she's turned up to this place where she knows that the Kardashians will go to lunch there and other celebrities go to lunch, and then what she's done is she's probably waited, called backgrid, waited, and then for one of them to walk out, and then she's walked out at the same time and probably gone, oh hello, and this person's gone and said, oh hi, and then snap, they're lunching together. I mean, even so what if they are anyway, who cares? But that is what I think that she's doing, because she isn't very popular. But the fact is that it was done on the Sunday. She'd lunched on the Sunday, but of course those pictures had to go out when it was Prince George's birthday. But like I've said, I don't just hold her accountable for that, because at the end of the day, this is out of the narcissist playbook. This is so obvious where she's concerned, but the mainstream media are the ones to blame. They are the ones that put the pictures out, because they are quite capable of saying, yeah, we'll put this picture out, but we're not gonna put it out on Prince George's birthday. We'll put it out the day before or the day after. But they don't, because they enjoy the drama. They enjoy the drama. So yeah. So let me know what you think in the comments. Do you agree with everything that I've been saying today? Do you have your own thoughts and opinions in regards to this? Is this a classic narcissist move by Meghan? Are you shocked by all of this in regards to Ingriftus and what is going on there? So let me know your thoughts as always. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel so you do not miss future uploads. If you'd like to treat me to a coffee, the link is in the description box below, or it is just above the subscribe button. It's like a little yellow icon. There are also other ways to support me if you so choose. You can write to me, you can send me an email, you can go onto my Amazon wish list that is there. You can follow me on other platforms. Everything you need is going to be in the description box below. I just want to say thank you so much for all the love and support that you gave after my chat with HG Tudor. I think it really does show what a fantastic, amazing channel that we have here, and the community that we are building. You know, I love the fact that even if you don't necessarily particularly watch him or like him, you still show a level of respect. So I just want to say thank you so much to all of you who watched the video, who supported the video, and who gave some fantastic feedback on the video. So I hope you have a great rest of the week, and I will see you in the next video. And as always, I love you, I appreciate you, but most of all, I respect you. Take care. Bye-bye. Mwah.